how do you make sure that people go to your sales page and actually buy something? If people always bought whatever we offered them, that would make life so much easier, right? It's going to be far smoother journey into building your business if you could always get the sale. But to get a good sale online, you need a good sales page, and a lot of sales pages online are not good sales pages. I am Jordan Parker. I professionally make sales pages and sales page funnels for my clients, and I've been doing so for the past year. And in this video, we're going to look at a very bad example of a sales page, and we're going to find some of the sales page sins, which sounds fancier than minor mistakes you should fix, even though some of those are not minor, and some of them are absolutely destroying your conversion. But anyway, we'll be talking about sales page sins, and we're going to see how many sales page sins this particular sales page does. Now, to be very frank, this is a horrible example. You would never see that many in the same spot, but this makes it very educational for you, because the more mistakes you see at once, the better, and the more you actually learn. So let's get to the page. First of all, this is the actual page. You'll see it over here. Yeah, I will be covering a good chunk of the screen. Don't worry, you're not missing out anything. If there's something important, I'll show it to you. But there is a lot to talk about here. And on my phone here, I have a very cool timer, and we're going to count how many big-ass mistakes we're making. And we're only going to go through this one single page. It's not terribly long, but it's still going to take a while, because I have a lot to talk about here. Okay, so first of all, one thing that you will notice, and I found this as I was messing around with the layout for this video, which is rarely a massive issue, but when it's an issue, this specific user will never buy from you. So it's rare, but when it happens, it's very massive. Is when you try resizing this page, look at what happens. Just look at what we get. Like, look at this thing. This is not what you want from your, sales pages. Like, you want to be optimized for any resolution, and it shouldn't matter how big the person's screen is. Every modern platform would allow you to do this. Like, please don't have that. This is like, no one is going to read this, for example, or this, or like, people, life is too short. It's just not gonna work. And so this, for example, this is now cropped. This is fine. This is misaligned, but okay. We'll comment on this one later. And okay. So very important thing. And if I make those even smaller, you can see that this actually goes eventually. At some point, it actually moves to a single column. Let's move it here, and let's see. Now it moves. Now this is their mobile layout, and their mobile layout is usable. There are some issues here, like this thing is not working, but be careful. If your layout does not allow for people to view your sales page, you will not get sales. Like, this is a no-brainer. Most tech should support this out of the box, but it's still our first very important sin. Like, make your websites mobile friendly, please. Make them tablet friendly, make them everything friendly. It's not a big issue, but like, it's not a big problem right now, because most platforms allow it, but you need to check. You have to actually check this. Some of the stuff that you make is going to work horrible and look horrible on, some devices. All right, let's see what else we have. First of all, I'll start from the very top. There's a lot of buttons here. That's a problem. If I go to a sales page, I should have two options, not however many options we have. So the two options that I have are, I can buy this or I can not buy this. And those should be very visible, very obvious options for me. So when I come here, not buying this means I will exit the page. I will press the X button and this page is going to close, and I will not purchase this. If I am on this page, my intention should be buying this, and every part of the page should be optimized to exactly that journey. Like, I should have as much, buying pressure, so to speak, compared to, a normal website, because this shouldn't be just a normal website. This should be a sales page for the product. So your landing page very often does that job. And yes, sometimes on your main website, you might want to add some menu buttons, but in general, you want to limit those to as little as humanly possible, because what's happening is that every single one of those is an exit button. When I click on my student profile, what happens? I get to some login screen and something. This is instantly 17,000 times less interesting. And what do? I exit the page, or I have a much higher chance of exiting the page. That's not what you want. So we're going to add another scene here. Keep in mind, you want to have as little in up here as possible. If you have nothing, that would convert best. If you have a sign up page, make it a sign up page. Remove every other thing, and you will get 20, 30, 40% higher conversions. You can even triple your conversions. I had a client who had like 20% conversion rate on his sign up page. We removed the buttons and he jumped to 40%, double the conversions from just removing all of the distractions. It's very, very, very effective. And the same goes for sales pages, of course. So next, the next thing that we have is whenever I scroll, this thing is moving. This, you don't want, like this logo here, it makes no sense for this to be moving. One, this is obviously very ugly because it's not aligned. Like this thing, everything here resizes, but those buttons don't. So this thing becomes, the layout is just weird and it doesn't work. And the second problem is this movement, this animation catches my eye. People look at moving things. With card magic, when you move something, you want to take the attention. So if I'm doing something here, I would move something here, right? So people look at the movie thing and they don't look at the static thing. So this thing moving means that I won't be looking here at the text that's not moving, that's not interesting. And what that does is that makes the landing page, or the sales page in this case, the sales page less effective because this is moving and this is distracting. That's another sin. Be very careful with animations. Now, next we have a sidebar with share buttons. Share buttons are absolutely useless on every website. I don't think that you should need to use share buttons anywhere. People barely click those. Like you would get, even on a very high traffic block, you'll get very few people actually clicking those. People know how to share links. It's okay to let people figure out how to share a link to your website. They've done it before. We have had the internet for a good amount of time. I don't know, it's like 50 years or something. It's been a while, and there has been global access to the internet for like, 25 years. So people know how to share pages. You don't need to put those share buttons anywhere. They are only serving a very simple purpose. They're exit buttons. I click this, I go to Twitter. I can't personally go to Twitter because I have a software that blocks me from getting distracted, but you would be able to do that. In any case, this is not useful. You don't want people to exit your entire website and just go to a random social media, which is filled with interesting stuff, by the way. Like, you go to Twitter, you see your timeline. You go to Facebook, there's a timeline, there's notifications. The chances of someone getting distracted there are a bazillion times higher compared to someone getting distracted on your sales page. So don't put those. Don't put those on your website, and absolutely don't put them on your sales pages or landing pages. That's a big sin. We are up to 4 now. And we haven't even started with the main thing of the website, which is the copywriting, which is the actual text of the sales page that gets us to, do stuff. Okay, so I will ignore the fact that this says perfect for educational website. You can't see this correctly, but it's horrible. Like this is, yeah. This is actually a slider here on top of that. You don't see this a lot. And there is a reason why you don't see sliders, and we can see a good number of different call to actions, which are all bad, but I will go through them kind of one by one. So first of all, you don't want a slider. Why don't you want a slider? Because you can't control the user experience. If you have 4 or 5 different things appearing on the top of your page, you don't know which one I'm going to see. Maybe I open the website and it takes me a few seconds to actually go to that tab. Now I see a different landing page compared to someone else. I open the website and I go immediately, I see something different. I open the website, Diana calls me, I look at her and I see a different website. Like, this is not what you want. You want to have a singular experience that you can optimize, because that allows you to handcraft the journey that the person will take from not knowing what your product is to knowing what your product is. And the better you can create this entire journey, the more conversions you'll see across the whole thing. And you can do that if you're branching out in all kinds of random directions. So, first of all, they are very much not universal in terms of how their what their layout is, what buttons do they have. Some of those don't even have buttons. Some of them have buttons. It is a very, very messy thing in terms of what are we getting. So that's not optimal, of course. Now, the actual copywriting here is uh, questionable, not best. So here we have perfect for educational website. This is, this is, I'm just highlighting it here because you can see it a little bit better. But let's, this is the first call to action, the perfect for educational website. This is basically it's making a claim. It's telling me, hey, this is going to work really well if you have an educational website. This is a this is not a perfect claim, but it's not horrible. Like, it at least is telling me like this is going to be software that I can use on my educational website. At the very least, like, this gives me some idea of what's going on here. That's not horrible. It can be better because I don't know what this is. I just know that whatever this is, it's perfect for educational website. And they should be websites. Obviously, you want to double check your grammar, please. But then we are going to, this is finally a description of the software, which is saying, use our feature-rich online software to create compelling courses, everything you need to create, sell, and maintain online courses. So this is, when we look at those two lines, we're getting courses is repeated twice, so we're repeating the same point twice in the main, above the fold section. The above the fold section is everything that I see before I scroll any sales page, any landing page, any website. So this stuff that I see, this is the above the fold. This is the most valuable real estate because everything above the fold, everyone sees. Everything that I need to scroll for, you lose 60% of people if they have to scroll. People will not scroll websites. It's shockingly rare. I would expect everyone to go and scroll on every website, but that's actually not what happens. People go on the website and they just take a look and they decide if they want to read more. And if you don't do a good job with your copywriting at the top, they won't read more. And if they don't read more, it doesn't matter what you have on the rest of the website. So this is obviously a very critical section because it determines if someone is going to spend any time here. Okay, and I've been talking so long about this that my phone locked, but we're still at 4 cents. We're going to be adding a sin here, of course. But basically, the issue here is we're trying to tell who this is for, which is not a big problem. It's just a not very enticing way to say this. So I won't deduct any points here. This is someone who hasn't written enough, copy. They're a beginner. That's okay. No big deal. But then we have repeating the same content in the above the fold section. This is actually a big problem because every single new line of any new story we see or any new website or anything that we are consuming needs to reveal something else. It needs to reveal something different. And when I read this first line, which is user feature rich online software to create compelling courses, I kind of know that this is an app. It makes courses. I get that. And then they tell me it's everything you need to create, sell, and maintain online courses. I kind of already expect that because it's an online software for courses. Like, everyone who is buying software for courses, it will be generally aware of what's happening with course software. They will have certain expectations for what that software does. So explaining to me what course software does here, they're teaching me what the thing that I want to buy is doing. That makes no sense. I will know that before coming to this page. This is not the kind of page that I'll read before buying the software or before even deciding that I want to buy the software. This is the page that I read when I'm interested in a specific type of software, a specific vendor, and I want to buy that. And in this case, I don't need them to explain to me we have everything that you want from the software that you're buying. If you don't have that, that would be a red flag. If you say that you have that, now I actually kind of want to check it. It's like going to someone and say, hey, this is a very normal phone. And they're like, what's wrong with it? Because you're exaggerating something that shouldn't be exaggerated. So this is a sin. We don't want that. So this is the fifth sin. And I actually have a second one because of the feature-rich software, which means nothing. What does feature-rich mean? Does it mean 5 features? Does it mean 7,000 features? Does it mean I'll have every feature ever, like this statement kind of says? Or what the hell does it mean? It's very much not specific. So that's 2 cents for us. We'll get to the other timelines. So we have dozens of magic features included for free. This is just generic. I don't know what does that mean. And magic features is supposed to make features sound cooler. But features is something that I can't imagine. If I tell you imagine a red car, you will imagine a red car. So red helps you imagine the car better because it gives you context, it gives you details. When I say magic features, it doesn't do anything because you can't imagine magic features. Like, what are the features that are gonna cut the cars in a cool way? I highly doubt that. That would be very weird. So it's probably not magician features. It's probably they mean that they're magical in some way, which is very generic. I add another scene for that because I can't imagine this. It's not effective. We already saw the educational website. The Get Started Now does. Holy shit! This immediately takes me to the checkout page. Like they're selling using a proxy website, and this takes me to the proxy website. This is horrible. Like, I haven't read nearly enough to know if I want this. I shouldn't go to checkout. Like, this is a horrible idea. If you have a button that's very high up on your page, you want to get me to consume a little bit of the page first. So you should use your buttons at the very high end of your website, unless you have, a video explaining everything. You should probably use those buttons to get me to read the most important sections first. If I'm a complete random person, first time I see in this website, I go here, I see a big red button, and I click the big red button. What do I get? I get a checkout page. I don't know what I'm buying, so I don't go through the checkout, and it's a pointless exercise. I don't do anything. So this is definitely a sin. Let's look at the last thing, if the slider decides to work again, because of course it. Okay, so this is the one that we can spend a few seconds extra on. So this one is. Now this is the supposed. This should be the main thingy. So this should be the main. Why can't I do 75%? Let me fit the canvas. Okay, go. So let's do it this way, and yes, perfect. Okay, so this is the Ultimate Learning Pro all-in-one platform. Okay, so a lot to dissect here. So first of all, there is a lot of fluff words here, a lot of words that don't mean anything. Ultimate. Okay, so this is just an adjective that they're using because the platform is called Learning Pro. And it's very, very interesting because the platform is called Learning Pro, but the logo has Ultimate Learning on it. You probably can't see that, but it says Ultimate Learning in the small square. So what is your actual name? Like, pick an actual name for your platform and use that name. And don't shove useless adjectives in your name. Just pick a normal name. Like this is the learnific, learn thing, somethingific, whatever. Like, make a name for your platform. You don't need to call it Ultimate and Pro at the same time. You make a pro version of something once you have the main version of something. Like, it. Be careful with that sort of naming. This can make you seem very inexperienced and immature. I will give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that the pro is because they have the basic version of this somewhere. So sure, but the ultimate one I cannot forgive. Like, having random adjectives that don't add anything is a sin. Then we have all-in-one platform. That doesn't mean shit. Like, what is it all-in-one? Is it for learning? Is it all-in-one? Does it make pancakes? Like, what is it all-in-one for? I need a lot more context. And like, if it's ultimate and all-in-one, like, again, we're piling on adjectives and random terms that don't add anything to my experience. I don't get what that is. I don't get what it means. It's just very confusing and, not making me want to buy this more. And then we repeat the whole thing again. So we have the repetition where we have another repetition. I count this twice because the repetition is a very, very bad thing. You don't want to repeat stuff, and you don't want to repeat stuff all over your website. So is it comprehensive, is it ultimate, or is it all-in-one? If you want to convince me in something, you have to actually stand by this and make an argument for why this thing is correct and why this thing is true. Because on the internet, no one trusts anyone. And you shouldn't trust me, for example. Like, you need to see a bunch of my videos to start trusting me, because I'm a random person on the internet. When I stop being a random person on the internet, I have some trust. And what we want to do with everything we make on the internet is stop being this random website, this random product, this random person, and become someone they know. And for them to know us, we have to actually give them something that is trustworthy. To make this trustworthy, we have to take all arguments one by one and give some meaningful proof of why this thing is the case and why is it true. Okay, so this becomes very confusing and very difficult to do because there's different ways of saying the same thing. comprehensive, all-in-one, and ultimate mean the same thing in this context, but they're worded in different ways to make this feel bigger, and it does the exact opposite effect. It makes me not trust any one of them, and the whole thing becomes our next sin, basically. Okay, cool. Let's move to the next one, because we have a lot more. Next, what do we get? We move past the slider, which is horrendous, and we get to more students, online courses, easy monetization, and quality plugins. Now, this becomes, very, 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 very bad, very, very, very fast. Like, this was bad, but the next becomes worse very, very fast. I'm sorry for whoever made this website. This is very beginner level stuff. You can make a better one with just AI. Sorry, like, you need to use AI and improve your page, and then start actually testing it and improving it more. Anyway, so let's focus on this part. First of all, we have more students. More students. I don't expect my learning platform to be limited in the number of students I can take. Like, I don't buy a learning platform because software 1 allows me to take 1 student and software B allows me to take 5 students. This is not a physical classroom. It doesn't matter. Like, I can take any number of students I want. So this is very confusing. This raises a flag immediately in my head, which is, why the hell does it have more students? Does it mean that it has limitation on students? And focus on what I'm thinking about right now. I am thinking about the features of the platform. I'm not thinking about the most important thing in this dialogue, which is me, my needs. Me as the buyer I need to see my life changed by this. I need to understand my own transformation or my business's transformation reading this page. I need to understand how am I going to change. By reading about this, I'm just getting, very doubtful of certain aspects of the platform, and I'm not even imagining, like, I still am not thinking about myself and my own use case. I'm just thinking about this thing, and this thing is not something I want to buy because it is this thing. Like, I'm waiting for them to convince me to buy. This is the wrong frame. Your sales page does not convince me to buy. Your sales page makes an argument for why I should buy something. I convince myself, and then I decide. Like, this is what happens with readers. Your readers are the people deciding to buy something. You're not convincing them of anything. You're saying, this is my argument why I think this is a good idea. If they accept the argument, they buy. If they don't accept the argument, that's cool. But you don't convince them. If you convince someone, you already lost. And this is actively, first of all, it's trying to convince me because it's showing me how cool it is by its features. And on top of that, it's doing a bad job at it. So because it is showing me the wrong stuff. So the more students is getting me to ask myself, holy crap, does it limit my students? That would be so bad, because then I have to think about solving this in the future again. So I can't solve this problem. Like, if I know that I currently have 50 students and then I know that in 5 years I'll have more, I'll be like, holy shit, can I solve this now? And then in 5 years I have to solve this again? That sucks. So this is worse. Online courses. We already said that. Pretty much all the titles besides dozens of magic features included for free, which this is the worst one. But basically all of them tell me that this is a learning platform. Kind of. Not in the best way, but they kind of tried telling me that. So cool that it has online courses, but that should be very obvious. Like, you should tell me why your online courses are cool, not that you have online courses. I kind of know that. They have easy monetization. This is new. This is actually useful new information. It shouldn't be here, but it is actually useful. And we have the final one, which is actually the worst one. Let me resize so you can see. You see the title. The rest is messed up. But anyway, this is called quality plugins. This is another massive red flag, because I get to think, like, first of all, I'm thinking about my student limits, and then I see quality plugins. So this is, by the way, a WordPress plugin, so I know this is one plugin, but why is it quality plugins? I need to read more to understand. Like, this creates confusion in my head. This creates a concern in my head. Like, why is this multiple plugins? That's not supposed, like, I want to buy one plugin, not several. And this creates another problem for me, which is absolutely useless for the argument. And then I have to solve this problem by reading the text, which says, basically, we make cool plugins. So now, because this is a very bad, we have to add a bunch here. So first of all, we have features way too early in the page. this is not talking about me and my needs as the customer. This is talking about them and their product. So this is a sin. Next, we have more students. This is getting me to focus on something that is not important in a way that, like, the language here is wrong. They want to tell me that I'm going to get more people in my courses. This is what they want to say. But this language gets me to think that they have a limitation. So this is creating confusion. This is another thing. You don't want to confuse people. You want to remove friction. We have online courses. This is repetition. We don't want repetition. 14 so far. We have quality plugins. This gets me to think that, like, first of all, why are you telling me that your stuff is quality? I know you think it's quality. First of all, it's obvious. And second of all, this is going to be two sins, is this is confusing me even more. Like, this is creating obstacles for me that I have to go through to actually read the page. So I have to go through to figure out, why do we have quality plugins? What the hell is going on here? Horrible, horrible stuff. 16 sins so far. And the rest is going to be a bit faster, but holy crap. Then we have check magic features. What does that do? This button doesn't seem to be doing anything. It is a button. Yeah, sure it is. Data hover. Yeah, it doesn't have it has no, this is shadow click. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. Like, I can't see any action connected to this button. Oh yeah, it should scroll down to the features section, but they forgot to put, this is the link points to the features section, but they don't have a features section. They forgot to put this. So this is just a bug in the website that reduces my experience. So don't make buggy websites, please. Like, if you have a button, make it do something. Now, this is something that factually they did a better job at, because this is actually like scrolling a little bit is better than sending me to a checkout page. That's cool. Now, this part, which I just now noticed, this is horrible. Let's see what happens when you open up the page. Yes, this is bad. This is really bad. You don't want this. So when I open up the page, what do I see here? What does the text right here, like where it's supposed to be, like where I'm moving my mouse? What does the text here say? Nothing, because it hasn't appeared yet. So I open the page and I need to wait half a second to see the text. That's bad. Like, this is a massive, massive sin, which I'll add and then explain. Whenever you have a sales page, you want me to open the page and be able to read the page as fast as I want, not as fast as you prefer. Having animations, they should be very fast and very subtle if you have them. And I would, in general, for most people, because animation design is incredibly difficult, especially if you want to make it a good user experience, and you need to really understand how people explore sales pages, which is different than how people explore, let's say, a website with online games, or how people explore Facebook. It's different. So you want to reduce your animations. If you look at the landing pages, the typical sales pages we see, which is Amazon, you don't have any animations there. Like, the whole page isn't moving left and right. Everything is fixed, because it makes more money if it's fixed. So you want to make it fixed, please. Now, we have the broken links. All right, so we started with a bunch of features, and now we're transitioning to something even better, even more features. Now, this is a problem. Obviously, this is a bad idea. Like, first of all, we already showed the features, so we don't get, like, every section of a sales page, every section of a website does one thing. So I told you, I have two options here. I buy this or I get out. Those are the two options. So what's happening is, this part of the sales page is giving me one argument, one attempt at convincing me that this is a good idea. Not convincing me, but giving me the argument so I can convince myself. So this shows me the argument. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I decide, do I want to buy it or not? If I kind of want to buy it, I scroll. If I don't want to buy it, I close the page. If I want to buy it, I buy. Now, most people will just scroll. So I scroll, and this should give me a new argument. If this is the same argument as before, I get bored and I close the page. So this is like having, several episodes of your favorite show and nothing happens. Like, people are like in the middle of a fight, everyone is Dragon Ball Z shouting, and nothing happens for 5 episodes. That's not what you want from your favorite show. You want the action to progress. This isn't progressing. That's a sin. Next, we have another. Like, we have magic features. I already taxed them for that, but we already have the all-in-one solution. Like, this is just like this is just bullshit. Like none of that is actually helping me understand this. None of that is selling this in my head. None of that is helping me make a buying decision. This is just repeating a bunch of things. Some also magic features pack. Now it's a pack. It's not just magic features. It's a pack as well. All-in-one solution into Ultimate Learning Pro plugin. Horrible stuff. I'll add just one scene for all of that because there's like 15 mistakes here. Whatever. Next, we have a list of 12 different features. I won't go through them one by one. I'll show you one thing that I just noticed. Those are images. I can take this and drag it because this is actually an image. So I can open it and, you don't do this on website. This is a horrible idea. So this is, again, horrible website design. You don't want to have images with a bunch of text in it because this text is not optimized. The browser renders text, like it draws the text in a very specific way that adapts to the screen size, and this text is going to be legible on almost any screen size unless you do something, unless you do this, then it's not legible. But that's not the text problem. It is the how wide the text is. So this is the container of the text. Anyway, so this, whenever you resize this is just gonna become smaller. You can see this. I also can see this, right? At this size, I cannot see anything here. It makes very little sense for it to be text-based. Like, this makes the user experience horrible. It is very difficult to read. I will simply ignore this. And also keep in mind how much information there is here on screen. Yes, there are certain places in your website in which you want to kind of slightly overwhelm people with information to show that the information or the features you have are so many. And when I personally use this a lot is testimonials. If you give people a massive wall of testimonials, they have to scroll through this thing and they get annoyed by how many testimonials you have. This is convincing. This shows a lot of credibility. Even though it's annoying, I get annoyed by scrolling through this too, even when I make the website. But people can feel, hey, there is a lot of people saying that this is good. Because they don't trust the individual testimonials unless they know the person. So at least showing them that there's a lot of them can help a lot with, conviction that this is actually for real. So this doesn't do that because it doesn't take that much space. Like it takes one screen. It's not horrible. Like there are some images, like it is an okay-ish layout, but the text is small. There is way too much text. Like here, let's actually see how much text we have. I'll count the words. Let's go to Hemingway. There's 378 words here. That's a humongous amount of words. Like there's way too many words here for this section. If we look at the number of words from this section, and by the way, I'm using an OCR thing, so I'm also counting I'm misclicking like a complete doofus. Come on. Anyway, so if I count the words, including the words in the slider, so including this sentence here, and we go back to Hemingway, we'll see that's 173. So the information density in this section doubles. There's 2 times more stuff for me to consume and read here, which makes it far more difficult for me to understand. So that's another scene. I'm not sure if I added a scene for the images. I think I did, but this information density is another scene, and the fact that this is absolutely illegible on bigger screens, because you can still use images and make it readable if you do your job correctly. This isn't that, so that's another scene. Usability is a big thing. If people can't understand your page, they will never buy from your page. Next, we have a bunch of brands. So I don't know what those brands mean, and their links. So one point goes away because I can click here and go to Stripe's website. Why? I don't need to visit Stripe's website. That makes no sense. I don't care what Stripe's website is. I can, if I am going to trust this logo, I know what Stripe is. And if I know what Stripe is, I don't need to click on their website. And the fact that you have this logo, like, why are those logos here? There is no description, as in, for why am I reading this? There is no context, so I don't know what this means. Do they have integrations? This is probably integrations, but I'm not sure. Are those companies saying that this plugin is amazing? I have no idea. Like, this is just a bunch of logos. So no, just don't do this. And all of those logos are actually exit buttons as well. So I click this and I get to this easy digital products. Look at this. This is a better sales page than the other one, which is problematic because I can go from this sales page, which doesn't sell me anything, and accidentally buy something else, which is probably the opposite thing of what the person making the sales page wants, right? Then you have save hundreds. We can save hundreds. That's amazing. So I will just remove for saving hundreds because that's no. Like you want to be way more specific with this. Like actually tell me how much I'm saving. Like give an estimate if you have to, but tell me what am I saving. Hundreds doesn't mean anything. You can save hundreds by buying my product. From what? From compared to other products, compared to not buying anything. Like I'm obviously paying money here. I'm not saving money. Like you need to convince me that I'm saving money. You can't just tell me that I'm saving money. Then you have no hidden fees. That's another thing. Like no hidden fees is something that you can potentially use on a checkout page. It's a bit dated already, so I don't generally suggest that. But still, why? Like, why are you highlighting stuff that I don't care about in this specific model? Like, it doesn't make sense. Then you have this beautiful comparison table that doesn't work. Like, I frankly don't have the screen size. I need to have a bigger screen. This is a 13-inch MacBook. It's not big enough for me to see the whole page. If I zoom out this thing to 80%, I can see this. So it's probably on a 15-inch laptop. It's gonna look normally. But yeah, not everyone uses a 15-inch laptop. Some people prefer a smaller one, like myself. So yeah. Anyway, so they have. First of all, they have banged their drum about their features, and now they're telling me about their extra features. So, and they used to be magic features, now they're extra features. You don't rename your things in the middle of your thing, like you don't rename it. Also, we have a comparison between their plugin. There is an owl, which is their mascot, it seems, because it's in their logo, but I don't see it featured anywhere else. It's just a random owl out of nowhere. So, okay, it's a bit cute, so I'll let that slide. But we're comparing their thing, and we're comparing their fee, which is $36, which is very cheap. Kind of explains the sales page a bit. But anyway, and we're comparing with others. What is others? What does it mean? Like, I don't know what others are. Like, and you actually have to make this for this to be a non-bullshit comparison. I don't trust that every other thing doesn't have those features and every other thing costs $159. And if you're making that claim that every other software is $159, at least take $36 from 159, get me 123, and put that as what I'm saving. Like if you're claiming I'm saving $120, just tell me that. Like, don't give me generic made-up comparisons. This is bullshit. And I have it twice. Like this is I'm getting this others comparison a second time here because of reasons. Can I zoom this out? No, this is what it is. All right, so I'm getting two bullshit comparisons, not one. So this is a second scene, and it doesn't work on my screen. So that's a third scene, and we're getting to a lot of scenes, by the way. All right, 32 scenes so far. And this is horrendous. We have the extra features that we were named. I didn't add a scene for that. I think whatever. There's a lot of more mistakes that I'm not punishing enough, and like the language here is messy, but we are again repeating the same beat. We have features. Yes, I get it. When it comes to buying software, you need to focus on the features. That makes sense. Oh wait, by the way, you didn't see this. This is just two columns that one of them I can't even show this correctly. But basically, we have two columns that both of them say others, and that's it. And they have they have a random bullshit claims about what does it cost to add features, and they're clearly comparing against something specific, but they're not telling me what, which completely destroys the purpose. Anyway, so we're still at features. Yes, this is software. Yes, features matter, but you can't just bang the drum on features. Work with me a little bit. Try to get in my shoes. Try to put some empathy and understanding towards the user, and not just banging about how awesome you are. That doesn't work. That's another repetition, and that's another scene. Next, we have intuitive, smart interface, easy to use, and beautiful. Okay. So first of all, we have this animation. This animation is actually not bad. It is problematic, but it's not bad. So first of all, this animation being here, I will forgive the fact that this thing is very nicely blended on this corner and doesn't blend here. I don't like this, but I will give that part. I really like this zoom in here, but there's problems. Now, first of all, this is too fast. We're moving way too fast, and especially when you look at this small thing, the highlight is very very fast moving. Like I can't read those things correctly before this changes scenes. This is a problem. So if you're using animations, you want to make them slow enough so I can actually read them at my own leisure. Of course, I can skim this, I can kind of get the idea, but no. Next, this animation is not functional. I see some random stuff, but it's highlighting random things. Like it is literally just highlighting this random section that doesn't do much for me. And like there is a place in which it highlights the gray background. That's not useful. That's again removing of that experience. Next, we have the actual interface, and it's not beautiful. Here you say it is beautiful. Like, no, this is not beautiful. This is obviously very dated. So next we have the intuitive smart interface that's easy to use and beautiful. So we have intuitive and easy to use, which mean the same thing. We have smart interface that doesn't mean anything. What the fuck does smart mean? Like, is it going to be intellectually challenging me? Is it a smartphone interface? Is it what? Like, it is a very, like, I can see you can characterize something by giving it those qualities, but here we have just this big pile of adjectives. It's intuitive, it's easy to use, it's beautiful, it's smart. There's 4 adjectives, like 4 ways we define the interface. Way too much. That's way too many adjectives and way too little context on top of that. And the actual interface doesn't do that. So that's a big problem. When you're making claims, you want those claims to, like, you want me to be able to say this is bullshit. Yes, you want me to falsify those claims, you want your claims to be falsifiable, but you don't want me to falsify them. Because if I say, hey, this is not true, then I don't trust the rest of your argument and I don't buy. All right. Here we kind of repeat the same like here we basically, like, this intuitive word is basically this entire text. Like there is a bunch of text below this, and it's basically saying it's intuitive. Like, I won't read through this, but basically you can replace this with the word intuitive and you'll get the same result. So if I get this word, I don't need this text. If I get this text, I don't need this word. It's kind of like that. So again, don't repeat yourself. Say something and make an argument for why it is true. Trust me that I'm not a complete idiot and I can actually understand the word. Next, we have this comparison timeline thingy here. So we have 2 timelines. One of them goes from unlimited students to lesson drip content, to course reviews, multi-point structures, dashboard stats, and I have notifications, reports, updates, 24 support, fully integrated. This, like, from the UX perspective, is bad because, like, this is a timeline of some sort, and those items are not connected. They're just, again, a new list of features. So 1, we're using the timeline wrong. 1 sin. And 2, we're saying features again in a non-creative way. Like, we're displaying them in a different way. Yes, this looks different, but it's the same stuff. We already told the unlimited students. The unlimited drip content might be mentioned here. I think it's actually new, which is fine, but a lot of this is already repeated information, and that's even worse. What's even worse here is that we're repeating all the information, and this is a big sin. You repeat all the information and you just slide one new thing in the middle. Yes, you can summarize your information. That can be very useful. That can allow me to understand what you have better and remember what you have to say. Sometimes that can be useful. Sometimes that can be even necessary. But if you slide in, like in the DMs, a random new piece of info inside of your summary, then it's no longer a summary. It is presenting your information and it's summarizing all the information. This is confusing. If you have a section that summarizes, summarize. Don't give me new stuff. And the other way around. If you're giving me new stuff, don't summarize it. Don't mix those concepts. It doesn't make sense. Like, it needs to be intuitive. I won't be reading word for word. Even now when I'm reviewing, I'm not reading every single word. Because people are lazy. At least maybe everyone else isn't, but I am lazy when I read those pages, and I don't want to read every single word if I get the gist. Like, if I get the idea, I want to read more. So here we have again more features. That's not great. And we have 42 cents. So I will not dig into this because there isn't anything amazing here. It is just a lot more words and very small text. Actually, I add 1 cent for the very small text. You don't want your text to be that small. Make text legible. This isn't. Like this is the font size of this thing is the contrast is questionable, but it's 13 pixels big. On my screen, I can barely read this. Like I actually have to look closely. Like put any sort of like any sort of imperfect environment, and this becomes very difficult to read. Put it on a bit of a bigger screen, becomes even more difficult to read. Maybe oh no, wait, that's on me. That's on me. Yeah, I forgot that I zoned out. Yeah, so when your website has bad UX, you get people to do random stuff, and when they do random stuff like zooming out your website, you get your other stuff to look to look worse. This is actually probably 15 points in terms of size. Oh, it's still 13, but it's not zoomed out. But yeah, this is fine. My bad. All right, so this is still problematic, but at least we got through this one. I will not overanalyze this. I like the 24/7 support, but I would put this separately because this is not a feature of the product. This is not what I'm like. This is like this has a different function than the features. So I'm buying the product because I need the features. The support, I don't want to need the support. I frankly don't want to talk to support when I buy something. No one does. But the support is reassurance. When I decided I want this, and I'm wondering, hey, should I buy it from those people or this person? Then this 24/7 support is very useful because it reassures me. It tells me, hey, if anything goes wrong, we're here. We'll help you out. You will be okay. You won't be alone. There will be, help coming your way if anything goes wrong. This is very useful. But I can't process this in the middle of a feature list. I cannot. Like when there's so many different ideas here, and a lot of them are summarizing things, I would have the tendency to just glance over this. That won't work really well. But when you tell me about the support, this should be somewhere, here, telling me, hey, once you give us this money, you'll get our support and you'll get this up and running. So understand the user journey. You understand how people think and how people explore your page because that's important. I care about the support after I get the features. Next, user-friendly interface built with smart features. We had magic features. We have smart interface. Now it's smart features, and we had another features thing. But yeah, no, this is a sin. We don't like. We're repeating the same information again, and we're repeating it twice, and we're telling smart features. Then we have this amazing grid. I'll turn off myself. You deserve to see this in its full glory. We have this. It's layouted in a way that might be interesting, but I would just put, I don't know how many scenes I should put like 50 here because you can't read half of the text. I'll put one for a lot of this is absolutely impossible to see because it's too small, and I'll put another one because there is vertical images here, like and they're not just vertically shot photos. They're the images that were rotated vertically. Don't ever do this, please. Like your images shouldn't be pointing sideways. I should not be looking like this to read your text. That makes no sense. Please don't ever do this. Like you can do something else, and like even if you had one image here, it's going to be better than having this mess. So sorry, when you have a section like this, think about the information density. This is too much info on a very small space. Combine those images into single images. Maybe here you can show me a carousel of the different images and animations, and probably give me control because this one is, this is interesting. This at the very least is interesting. I get that, and that counts, and this is good. But it's not useful. It's not informative. I cannot do anything with this, and I can't really see anything here. Here, if you give me control over, clicking those and playing around, maybe I can actually get a feel for the interface. That can be useful. This can be a functional way for me to explore this. This isn't that, which is, even worse when it's combined with those looks. So I take another point off. So another scene, we're at 46 because this isn't functional, but Frankly, I should just put 7,000 scenes here because this is, yeah, no. Anyway. But we get to features again, which is some more variety in your life, and they're awesome this time. Okay, so they are not magic. They have a magic wand, so they're magician features. They can dribble cards and they can sprint cards. They are also awesome. Okay, so if you weren't convinced before that the features are amazing, you know that they're awesome now. So you're buying. Perfect. So yeah, that's the same. Anyway, next we have we kind of repeat this, and we say that the plugin comes with magic features that let you have a complete LMS platform from the beginning. We're hyping up features. Okay, again, if you hype features, I cannot imagine features. If I tell you, hey, you're going to buy this red car, and the seats, they're so soft, like you can sit in this seat and just live there. You can just throw your office chair and go work from your car. It's more comfortable than your office chair. I can imagine a car, I can imagine, sitting there, and I can imagine some sort of an experience. Putting more words about the seats of the car can make me believe in those seats more, because I have something in my head. I have those seats, so they can become velvety, they can become very soft, they can become very plush, or they can have this very very awesome leather on top of them made from the skin of, I don't know, a dinosaur that will last 7,000 years, whatever. But the point is, I add more and more context to an imaginary scene I have in my head. When you tell me features, I can't imagine them because they're abstract. Like, we have awesome math here, and everyone runs away. Obviously, that's not what you want. So this is bad. We're kind of repeating a bunch of things, and by the way, a lot of those aren't actually features. They're just like, they're telling me this is their integrations. So this is also mislabeled, and it's also like it's repeating the same bit, but it's also mislabeling. So this is doubly confusing. They have a bunch of integrations. That's actually not bad. Like, I know a lot of those things. I am a WordPress developer, so I get a lot of those things. They're not horrible. Like, this is not bad features. All right, so we finally have some testimonials, which is fine. This is not bad, and this is actually on the right side. This is good. You want this thing to be on the right side whenever you have action buttons, and you are not seeing anything. We have to reduce the size of the site, which makes it horrible. But yeah, so on the left we have testimonials. On the right we have the checkout button thingy. So this is going to get us to probably the same checkout page in Envato. And yeah, so this here, I taken a point immediately because it has an image in the background. You don't do that. The testimonials don't have pictures. That's another point. I can't imagine those people now. And like, it is okay, but again, the only thing that we can do is we can say it's full package. This alone is worth an extra cent. And then we have some very basic stuff. The one that bugs me here is it has lifetime plugin updates and 6 months of support. Like, how? Like, I don't like, this is very confusing, especially coming from Envato, which only provide updates for 6 months and not lifetime updates. This is very, very strange. So this is confusing for me, and if anyone is buying from Envato will say the exact opposite of this, which makes this actually very confusing. So yeah, avoid the background image of something. The contrast, when you create a background image for a section like this, the contrast is all over the place, and I might be looking at this guy's fingers or face instead of looking at what matters, which is this. Luckily, they covered this guy's eyes. Covering the eyes of people, we follow the eyes of people on images. So if you want, to capture more attention, you can put someone who's super hot here, and they are looking at your button. That can help. Obviously, it can help if it's a real person and not an AI generated thing. But yeah, whatever. Cool. We have another feature section, which has a lot of information density. I will not go through that. That's way too many things. And then we have a very simple footer. That's actually good. The footer is perfect. You want, the footer is cut out as well. Let me see if I can put it on screen for you. Yeah, the footer is just It's provided by their team and all rights reserved. You probably want to have a privacy policy here. I won't take us in like this. This depends on local, legislations and all that. But whatever. There is one link to their company page. That's fine. Like that. This low. If I'm this low, I'm probably either not buying or I want some extra information that you have. Now, again, this features. Yikes! I will take one extra point here for the FAQ section that's missing. We need an FAQ section in pretty much most sales pages. It helps. Like it can get you a quick fire round of dispelling a bunch of objections. This can be very helpful. This can be very handy. And yeah, so I wouldn't say that this is the best website. I would say it's pretty bad. But I believe that we went through 58 different ideas here that can improve yours. So even if you take one of those ideas and implement it correctly, you stop repeating your stuff, you stop misusing adjectives, you stop repeating, you stop, I almost repeated the same stuff, that would have been funny. You use things with some sort of a purpose, like, yes, this is pretty, it captures my attention, but what does it do? It has no point. Yes, this looks cool, but it's actually confusing me because the cool looks clash with the actual functionality here. It looks like a timeline, but it's not a timeline. So why is this having a visual that's not supporting it? Those things are connected in the visual, but they're not actually connected in real life. Like they're not connected features in any form. They're not connected claims. So this is all very confusing. Make your website imaginable. Remove all of the, because features is not something I can imagine. Remove all of the exit buttons you have on your website. Remove dump animations that are stopping users from actually reading it with their own pace. Remove all of the links from your header and actually make a good sales argument. We'll get into sales arguments some other time because this is already way too long. So yeah, do one of those, and your website will get a noticeable, increase in conversions. You can get 2-digit increases in conversions from just this. It is stupidly effective. All of those are stupidly effective, even though they sound simple. So start there. And if you want more help, you can always join my newsletter, Creator Income. It's down below linked. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope that was entertaining. This gets me fired up. Like when I see something like this. Ugh. But yeah, hopefully that was fun for you. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.